Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Hard West. So I think I puzzled it out in the 5 minutes between episodes here. So, whole story should be Mark, Matt, John, Luke, Picard. The letters formed words, and the words formed sentences. They spelled the location of the four evangelists' secret stash. Nice. Where is it? Where is it? This way? I feel like I'm overshooting. Where is it? There it is. The evangelist stash. Here we go. Figured it out. A bland, unmarked grave matched the directions decrypted from the evangelist tomb's inscriptions. Your long digging effort was rewarded with findings of substantial material value. Oh, nice. Fate Trader. One-armed bandit, bulletproof vest, medicinal bag, stun bomb. Dude. I guess we'll kill the Indians at the Indian sacred grounds, right? Followed a trail of blood and bodies to a giant twisted red leaf tree surrounded by graves. Navigated the tall grass carefully, looking for signs of the surviving natives. You and Burns were on high alert as you inched your way forward, guns drawn. Faint glimpse of movement caught your eye. A muscular figure covered in war paint sat in the tall grass, his precision rifle aimed at Burns' head. Huh. Whoops. Oh, crap. I accidentally jumped. Whoops. I meant to do something else. Okay, I meant to actually read it, but I actually just pushed 1. So the Indian shot missed you by less than an inch. You jumped to your feet and instinctively pumped 3 shots into the native. Burns thanked you, both saving his life and eliminating his hunter. After searching the enemy range, we go back on the road. Mammoth Rifle Eagle Elixir. Huh. It's scoped though. Not bad. I don't even see what the other option was because I accidentally pressed 1. So that sucks. The Wizard. Your party came upon a circus tent set up incongruously in the middle of the Badlands. As you neared, you saw it was surrounded by armed men wearing clown makeup. A sign read, "The Dazzling House of Peculiar and Strange." Your previous travels told you this was the Algretto Mystics gang. Their leader, Wizard Algretto, had a reputation for making things and people disappear without a trace. House offered all sorts of cheap entertainment. Sure, we'll watch the show. Ixnay Josh and Jamie Harris were a knife-throwing act. The woman bore numerous scars, and Ixnay Josh was missing a couple of fingers. Still, his aim was unerring, despite his obvious affinity for strong liquor. What else? You watched a quartet of trapeze artists known as the Biscuito Brothers, high up near the ceiling of the tent. Victor, Paulo, Alex, and Raphael performed amazing feats of human agility. You knew a fall from that height would kill anyone, but the show ended safely without a shocking salto mortal that garnered a standing ovation from the crowd. Fulgrim, the Technomage, was a gentleman in a top hat presenting his perpetual motion device. In it, a ball traveled endlessly through a looping maze of funnels, drains, wheels, and cogs, apparently propelled by the power it generated. The Technomage offered to sell to anyone willing to pay his astronomical fee. You didn't feel compelled to jump at this generous offer. Phoenix Jarkith was a fire dancer who leapt through blazing loops, hooped over burning poles, and blew giant plumes of fire from her mouth. She crowned her act by taking a cigar from one of the gawking spectators with her foot, then lighting it with a fiery plume and returning it to the patron's mouth. As she bowed, the people showered her with dimes. The show advertised Grunks, a wild beast of uncanny strength. While Grunks was very hairy, he was definitely human. His act consisted of lifting increasingly heavy objects. After every feat, the audience demanded more, and Grunks obliged, until, on lifting the heaviest object on stage, a loud crack resounded across the tent, and mighty grunks fell to the ground and was carried away by other strongmen. Unfortunate. A gypsy fortune teller was reading palms of patrons. According to her sign, she was Dacina Vaduva, mystic seer. As you approached, she became fixated on you, her horrified mouth agape. Finally, she screamed, "Foul hellion! I never laid a hand on those puppies!" Then slammed her kiosk shut and ran away. For a moment, these displays of human talent provided welcome distraction. For a moment, at least, you felt relaxed and inspired. You left the tent and its weirdness behind. On your way out, a queer fellow tapped you on the shoulder. He said something about recognizing a fellow connoisseur, then bit hard into your flesh. You pushed him away, and he quickly retreated, tipping his hat. For the rest of the day, you had a strange aftertaste in your mouth. Interesting. Well, we have good fortune, at least, so that's good. That'll be good for the future. But I suppose that's it. We got the 9 of clubs out of him. I'll take it. It helps. Got a red joker. Nice. That's the best joker. Alright. Wizard. Return to the wizard's house. The place looked creepy as ever. Wizard! Want to see you. Tall, gaunt man introduced himself as Sean Vermillion. He said the wizard was waiting for you and offered you a complimentary drink. Single shot glass filled with cold, yellowish liquid sat on a tray. Vermillion looked at you expectantly. I'll save drinking for after the business is done. Thank you very much. No. I'll down it. I'll down it because it's respectful. Vermillion led you through dark corridors lined with colorful circus posters. Finally, you passed through a flap door and into complete darkness. Vermillion was nowhere to be seen. You're trying to make out what might be in the dark room when, with a heavy thunk of machinery, a single spotlight appeared. A tall figure stood in it, wearing some sort of cloak. You wanted to walk toward the figure, but your legs didn't react. You just stood there, watching. Sudden flash of light blinded you, the shock making you fall onto the ground. When you opened your eyes, the room was brightly lit by floating orbs of cold blue light. A short, bald man wearing a long robe and strange eyeglasses stood above you. Sean Vermillion stood behind him. The small man presented himself as Wizard Algretto and claimed he had business with you. He told you to nod your head if you wanted a lengthy explanation or shake it if you wanted to cut to the chase. Nod, doing your damnedest to stare him to death. The wizard smiled and commended you on your choice to accept the drink. It meant he didn't have to resort to violence to make you listen to him. He said he knew who you were and who you were looking for, and that you should give up now. The wizard considered Hardin his property and said the man was currently detained where he belonged. Persons, though, was a different matter. Henry Howard Persons used to work in Pinkerton's Special Division, but several years of his service were blank. The wizard assured you the Persons was quite insane, but he found the man fascinating, especially his obsessive search for pieces of a specific meteorite. Apparently no law or property of human decency would stop him in his quest to acquire these pieces. He was the ultimate collector. Therefore, the wizard continued, if you want to make contact with Persons, you need to find the pieces of the meteorite. And you were in luck. When the meteor traveled through Earth's skies, left a trail of debris in this very area. All you had to do is to obtain some of these pieces in whatever way you deemed acceptable. 4 pieces would be enough to attract the strange man's attention and make him emerge from hiding. These words, the wizard nodded to his men to take you away. Oh my. Oh my, okay. Collect meteor pieces, nearby locations, locate Randy Hardin. Wow. The Orchid House? Or perhaps a sneeze? Oh goodness. Illegal mines. What's this Orchid House way out here in the middle of nowhere? The inconspicuous ranch away from the main road housed a black market which dealt in contraband of all kinds. Do you know anything about a meteor piece? When you made your unusual demand, Juha Ackerman, the merchant, looked agitated. He considered the rock a lucky charm, was unwilling to give it up. If he did, he would charge you more for the rest of his goods to make up for his losses. Consider the offer. What do you actually sell? Nothing too special. I don't really care. But apparently I could get it from the Orchid House. Quack Wagon. So, doctor? Is that what it is? Yup. Lonely, dilapidated wagon was parked beside a popular resting ground. Dr. Mason von Warner's wagon smelled very strongly of liquor? No, it must have been antiseptic. The doctor looked at you absent-mindedly through his greasy glasses. He may have been drunk and high on opium. He was the only medic in the area. What about supplies? What do you sell? Various things. Nothing I care about. Army men. A rowdy and unruly group of men in worn-out uniforms were camped on the tract. Recognizing Burns, they greeted him like a brother. Their leader, Lieutenant Michael Scott, had been trying to arrange liquor, tobacco, and opium for his companions without attracting the attention of authorities in town. 3 tobacco, 3 liquor, 2 opium, huh? Okay. Something to think about. The Vaquero. Once been a thriving town, now reduced to a single bar, the Vaquero, run by former Mayor Marshall Todd Mabey. It seemed liquor and tobacco were the only things that sold on this forsaken road. The bar was populated by a seedy mix of farmers, cowboys, and lowlifes. In addition to drinks, the Vaquero also offered trade. Wow. Got piercing ammo. Ocular. Ocular's good. Interesting. Brothel. You arrived at a well-maintained farm composed of several large bungalows, all with extensive red lighting. Emma Bye-Bye debaucherous establishment was known for its security. This place was guarded by the same women who worked with the clients. Only a fool would cross them. Go to the main lobby. The brothel was a large complex. A gaggle of gunslingers hung around in its bar. The kitchen behind the counter led to an open courtyard, but you were forbidden from going there. You were allowed in the lobby where the women watched you with distrust while doing their best to look seductive. Emma Bye-Bye, the establishment's madame, remained in her office. Well, what about the bar? The bar was about as busy as the private rooms, with the women working both as bouncers and waitresses. You noticed some vaqueros sitting around a table. If you were picking fights, the fellows could be a heap of trouble. Apart from them, though, it was mainly old ranchers gambling and sipping their booze. Huh. Well, barmaid, does the name Randy Harden ring any bells? When the girl made a face, you knew you'd hit the jackpot. She pointed to a building across the farm. Harden was there, she said, detained on orders from the wizard himself, which no one could figure since Harden had been the wizard's lieutenant for years. She pulled you in close, said she thought it was because Harden was a diseased husk of a man, no longer fit for any real job. She said if you wanted to see him, you should talk to Madame Bye-Bye. Her breath hot on your neck, she asked whether you wanted anything else. We'll leave. Thanks. Cougar Trails. The wild land was Indian property. If the rumors were true, a powerful native mystic lived here who could take the form of a cougar. It was said he possessed another piece of the meteor. Look for the tracks. Many hours later, as you're about to give up, you spotted the cougar. It looked ordinary, except for an unusual pattern on its face and a necklace with a piece of rock tied to it. Shoot it between the eyes. It's the only option. The cougar dodged the bullet and leapt at you, knocking you to the ground. The two of you rolled around the hillside. You desperately reached for your boot knife. Finally, you got it loose and slid it between two of the beast's ribs. You sustained grave wounds in the struggle, but the meteor piece was yours. Interesting. The piece of meteor in your hand heated up, melted, and sank into your skin. You felt empowered. But you wanted to collect those pieces to drive persons out of hiding. You had to avoid burning them up. Interesting. What's in the church? Local chapel used a piece of the meteor as a main jewel adorning the communion chalice. Vicar Simon Sams, who locals respectfully called Bishop, refused to surrender the stone. We could shoot him, or we can come back later. Rojas Tannery. The stench of tanning liquids was smothering, but the tanner was rumored to possess a piece of meteor, so you pressed on. When you told him what you were looking for, he shrugged. He had once used the piece in the tanning vat to speed up the reaction. Now, though, he'd found a reliable source of tanning catalyst, didn't need the meteor anymore. Unfortunately for you, however, it lay at the bottom of the vat full of toxic material. If you were desperate enough, you could simply reach for it. I'll do it myself. I'm already in a bad way. You put your hand in the vat, feeling for the bottom of the stone. Your hand only felt a little warm. When you finally found the meteor shard and withdrew it, you were severely burned. You collected another piece of the meteor. Burning it up would give you extra power. Keeping it would help you recruit another companion. I suppose we should keep it, shouldn't we? I guess. We have one meteor piece. So down here, if we barter, you have some opium. 2. That's really all we need. Thanks. And then we need liquor and tobacco. Liquor for 15. That does seem a little steep. What about the town? What's the town offer? The Taub list. The following bar flies owed money to the bar. These couldn't be real names, could they? Spin Dr. Mario. Nice. Cthulhuhedron. Nice. Alright. There we go. 10 for liquor. Also 10 for tobacco. As far as I know, there's no cheaper tobacco. Go to the bar. What do you have on tap, I guess? No tobacco. The illegal mines. What's out here? Maybe we can get some cash. Came across a prospecting site where a group of slaves toiled in narrow, coffin-sized holes in the ground, hauling silver from beneath the earth. It was doubtful these mines were sanctioned by the authorities. Rumor had it Mr. Breck, one of the proprietors, had a collection of precious stones. A piece of the meteor was his most prized piece. We'll come back. We'll come back. Necropolis. Interesting. You arrived in an area dominated by sinkholes and mud pits. It served as a graveyard of sorts. Allowing coffins to simply sink into the bog was highly economical. Your reflections were interrupted by the sight of a tall figure pacing back and forth across the necropolis. In the morning mist of the surreal landscape, he looked like an apparition. Dressed in all black, carrying a shovel, he looked as though he must be an undertaker. If the rumors about like that hunting for you were true, this man could be dangerous. Let's find out his identity. The man's polite greeting turned to excitement as he realized who you were. His name was Shane Carter Holmes, and he recognized you from your hunt for the masked man. Between coffins and funeral services, your one-man slaughterhouse routine, as he called it, had made him a pretty penny. He'd been looking for you for weeks to express his thanks. A stack of useful items, some cash, and a piece of meteor. Nice. We'll keep it. Very good. So what's on the memorial board of the necropolis? The memorial board listed the souls that had been sunk into the bog were slowly rotting in the damp air. The only names you can make out were John Dock, Jansen Rush, Nick Rogers, and Andrew the Drifter, born 1883. Wonder if any of this information will be important later. Fate Trader, do you have one? Looks like he probably doesn't have any. Unfortunately. He's got a lot of great stuff, but it looks like not what we want. Alright, the vaquero. Buy your tobacco. I don't like it. I don't have any, right? Liquor. Opium. No. I've got none. Alright, military. Here you go. For some liquor. Soldiers invited you to camp with them that evening. Burns seemed ease for the first time since you'd met. Ultimately, their good mood, high spirits cheered even you. You look happy, if a little hungover. Oh. Well, I wanted to give them all the things. You're telling me I bought opium and tobacco for nothing? That sucks. That so sucks. Alright, well. Thanks for walking. Thanks for walking, yes. Wow. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. Holy crap, I apparently have a hard time talking. Thank you to Amphit for being a Patreon supporter. And I will see you guys next time. We'll take a meteor piece. Juha Ackerman handed you the meteor. Mind you, he would be mark up his prices from this point forward. Alright. There's a piece in the church. And then we have the brothel as well. And then what about the illegal mines? We'll probably go to the mines next time, guys. Thanks for watching. DFTBA.